Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. Hello, Libra. So Libra, we have Mercury squaring Uranus. This could be a trigger of words, perhaps on social media. For you, this could have to do with romantic partnerships. It could have to do with secrets coming out, perhaps that you didn't know. So I would be mindful of that and not overreact. If something, comes up, you could feel very erratic. It could be shakeups with secrets that you didn't know. So just, be careful. There might be a communication about some joint monies that might upset you a little bit. And, you just have to kind of decide what you have control over and what you don't, and try not to get in anybody's face too much to the point where you're going to regret what you said and you can't take it back. Mars went into Taurus last week. And, so that area of joint monies, intimacy, even psychic abilities, there's some shakeups there. There's some shakeups there, and it's going to be a little shaky for a while because Mars is still applying that energy to Uranus. But we have the new moon, and the new moon is happening in a part of the chart for you that has to do with your home. Okay, so you are setting new intentions on your home. Pluto and Saturn, January of last year, came through your home area, family area, like a wrecking ball, okay? Kind of leveled your home, or it leveled your family or real estate in some way. And, you didn't know back then what was going to happen, but now we're wiser. We know. We learned a lot in 2020. We had a lot of lessons, a lot of priority shifting. And now we have to decide what we're going to do with all that knowledge and wisdom that we learned. How are we going to evolve in this area of life? How are we going to take this and empower ourselves? How are we going to build something new in this area of life? And, we have new truths in this area. We can't go back to old truths because it doesn't work like that. We constantly evolve, right? So now how are you going to take this evolution and apply it to the next year? That is what's beginning now. And as if that wasn't enough, We also have Uranus going direct the day after, and that is happening in a part of the chart for you that has to do with that 8th house, that joint monies. So you're going to see forward movement. However, it does really feel like it makes a nice trine to Venus. So if you have money that's, in the home, that might be profitable somehow, or maybe you just feel free now, in the home area and you're happy. But Uranus tends to shake us free, and trine Venus might mean that, there's a nice romantic relationship going on, or there's good energy. This is good for romantic relationships or any kind of relationships, really, and money too as well. So even in the beginning of the week, it's a little rough, and then towards the end of the week, it does get better. But I do feel like everybody will feel this energy of this shakeup in the resources area, but it is making that really nice trine, so I do feel like it will be positive. All right, so this is the major astrology going on for the week, and I think that it will end on a good note for you, Libra.